Hello, my name is Kehinde Oyeniyi. I'm welcoming you again to yet another episode on your favorite show, my show, Your View, a show that is very educative, informative, a show that tells people what they need to know about various topics. If you recall, my last episode, I brought three wise men and we discussed about marriage extensively, and they spill out a lot of things. Now, I've gotten feedback from people that the show was too masculine. There was no women or ladies among them. Maybe that's why they were saying everything they were saying. So I'm doing this episode exclusively for our mothers, our wives, our lovely wives, so that we can see their own view about marriage. Also, all those things that Mr. Oshin, Mr. Emmanuel, Mr. Paul said, are they really true? Are they saying the truth? Or they are just saying it because they are men? So we check the view of the opposite sex today. And I believe it's an episode that you love. It's my show and your view. Like I always do, I will put them on the spot, ask them series of questions, and they will give me their views. They will share their views with me. So I'll bring them one after the other. I brought three wise men, and I'm here this evening also with three great minds, three women that are very loving. They are wives, they are mothers, and they are doing well. So I will bring them in one after the other. They will introduce themselves, and we will kickstart the show. I've gotten some topics, some questions, from people based on my last episode. Questions that you've sent that I should ask them, I will also ask them. So if you can get a bottle of Coke or popcorn or anything that will keep you busy, and let's just start the show. I believe it's a show that you will enjoy till the end. So I'll call them after the other. They will do the introduction. The first person I'm bringing in, she's a friend. She's a loving woman. She's Mrs. Olubunmi. She's a businesswoman. She's a mother. She's a loving wife. Someone that I've known for ages. So I brought them because they have experience. They've been married for quite some time. So Mrs. Olubunmi Agbaje, if you can, on your video, unmute your mic and say hi to my audience.
Hello, everyone.
Wow. Finally. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm fine.
Okay, so let my audience meet you. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Olubunmi Agbaje, like you said, and I've been married for 6 years, and I have a son. And I run a business. I own women's couture. I sell women's wear generally. So
where is it, in Osogbo or Ilorin or where?
I own a business in UK. I sell online.
Oh,
I sell
you are in
Instagram,
United Kingdom.
TikTok.
That's good.
So, and
All
I
right.
sell in Nigeria as well.
All right. Thank you. It's nice. Thanks for giving us time. I know you are very busy, businesswoman. Thanks for giving me some of your time this evening for us to have this conversation. The next person I'm bringing in is a loving sister of God. She's a loving sister of God. And you see, Mrs. Agbaje said 6 years in marriage. This person I'm bringing in is like junior to her. But I'm very sure she has experience also when it comes to marriage. So Mrs. Martina Agre, if you can, on your video, introduce yourself to our audience.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Martina Agre, as she just said, and I'm a nurse, practicing nurse, and I've been married for 2 years plus now and counting. But yeah, thank you.
You've been married for 2 years.
I'm also a business person.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. How has it been? How has the 2 years been?
I'll say it's been amazing.
Yeah.
It's been a process of learning and evolving, growing, and making a difference in each other's lives. Positive difference.
That's good.
And it's been amazing, really.
Awesome. That's good. Mrs. Agbaje,
Yeah.
if you can, just leave your video on so that we can
Oh,
see,
okay.
we can put face to whatever you are saying. Thank you,
Oh, okay.
Mrs. Agre. Our last guest is, how will I introduce her? She's a loving woman also. She's a store manager in Nigeria. She's a friend. She's like a daughter. She's very kind. Don't let me say much. Mrs. Jumoke Ogunsanwo, on your video and say hi. Let the whole world see and meet you.
Hello everybody. My name is Jumoke Ogunsanwo, a store manager in the retail supermarket. I'm married for 4 years now.
Wow. So I'm very lucky. So I brought 2 years, 4 years, and 6 years. Wow. What a conversation we're having this night. That's good. So thank you, every one of you. Thank you for creating time. I know you guys are very, very busy. So I will start the show shortly. I will just ask you questions. Just share your view about whatever I ask. We are all married people. I'm married also, and we are adults. So I believe we can discuss anything in the context of marriage. Just share your view. Let people know your view about marriage, and it will not take much of our time. So where do I start? Let me start from Mrs. Jumoke Ogunsanwo. Let me start from you. And this was the first question I asked my male guest last week when we had this show. In your own view, based on your experience, you've been in this marriage, thing called marriage, for 4 years. Do you think it's necessary to get married, considering how the world is now in this 21st century? Do you think it's necessary for people to get married?
Yeah, I think it's very necessary for people to get married. It's actually
why do you think it's necessary?
Yes, till now actually, said you have to leave your father's house and give to your wife. That's in the Bible. And companionship, a lot of things is guiding to still part of you. So I think it's very compulsory, very necessary for this to be married.
So if you were opportune to maybe speak to people, maybe the young people in a seminar or in a fora, you advise all of them to ensure they get married when they grow up?
Yes, I would actually, but I would want them to choose right, like know what they want, then have an idea of marriage, go for seminars, because you cannot just dive into it. It's a school. It's a school that you have to do. You go there, you have gotten the certificate you collect. How do you say the school you go, you collected the certificate before you even start the school. So I think you have to learn a lot.
Okay. That's quite. Mrs. Agbaje, what's your view? Would you say it's necessary also to get married, or you have a different view?
Okay. I wouldn't say. I don't know how to say it. I don't want my words to be used against me, but I would just say it depends on individual personality. To some people, it's not necessary, and to some people, it's necessary. But marriage is fine. Marriage is beautiful. But with the world we are now, not a whole lot of ladies want to get married, and some men, they don't want to get married. And people have their own reasons. Some might say, okay, I don't want to get married maybe because I don't want somebody to be monitoring me. I don't want to be submissive to someone. We all know marriage entails you to be submissive, like having respect and, like, I don't know how to say, like, you need to you need to be accountable to someone in marriage. Yeah. So, and some people don't like that. So it depends on, marriage is necessary, fine to me, but in this world that we are now, that we have Gen Z, we have millennial and the world and category, I don't really think some people want to get married. So,
Okay.
but marriage is fine. It's wonderful.
Okay, so you may notice that I'm looking at my side as you are speaking. I'm going through my tab. I have series of questions that have been sent by my audience to ask you. So I'm picking from them to ask you. So it's not as if
Okay,
I'm not
that's fine.
concentrating. Okay, so to you also is necessary. Mrs. Martina, don't tell me you are saying it's necessary also. I want a different view. Do you think it's necessary to get married? If it's necessary, why was it necessary for you? Why did you choose to get married?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. First of all, marriage in the institution that it is necessary but not compulsory. It's necessary to be married, but it is not a compulsory thing. And in as much as marriage is necessary, it still boils down to choice. It still boils down to personal choices, because it's not, I always say that it's not a market where you go to buy food stuff and return them when you don't need them. You don't go to market to buy a foriro and say, oh, this A4 is too dirty. Let me take it back to the owner. I don't want to buy it again, but then give me my money back. No. So it has to be an intentional decision that whoever wants to go into it must sit back to think about it and be intentional. So it is necessary, especially in the African setting. But like I said, it's an individual choice at the end of the day. Nobody forces anyone, and marriage is not for kids, it's for adults. So nobody puts a gun on anybody's head that you must be married. And that's why I always say, do not marry because you're under pressure. It's the worst thing anybody can ever make. So marriage is necessary to fulfill the law of procreation, right? However, it is not compulsory. It's a choice, that an intentional choice that an adult, both male and female, need to make before getting into it. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So I will pick some things from what you said. You said it's necessary but not compulsory, and marriage is not for boy and girl. And so, what would you say the right age should be before you get married? What's the right age?
Okay, there is no specific acceptable general age in the entire world. We are trying to be before I answer this question, we're not trying to be limiting ourselves to just the African setting. Or do I talk about the African setting?
No, just talk globally.
An
talk
individual
generally.
must need to get married.
So I would want you to speak generally.
There's no actual standardized set written down age bracket or age that an individual or people should get married. But as with the ongoing events in the world, I think that for someone to say I want to get married, you must be an adult first of all. An adult from the world standard, it's from 18 years and above. Okay. And I'm talking from the perspective of females. You must be an adult from 18 years and above. And being an adult is not enough. You must also be mentally, physically, financially, and spiritually ready for it. Having emotional intelligence and the importance of emotional intelligence in marriage cannot be overemphasized. So that's why there's no standard age for anybody to be married, but you have to be an adult. 18 years and above, you can say, okay, I want to get married at 18. It's your choice, but are you ready for it? Are you mentally ready for it? Are you physically ready for it? Are you, financially and otherwise? Because it comes with lots of demands.
Okay.
So, okay.
Thank you. You've hit the nail on the head. Mrs. Agbaje, so I'm not a Muslim, I'm not a Christian, I don't practice, I'm not a traditionalist, and I want to get married. Is there a manual for getting married? Is there like a manual? You know, if you buy a microwave oven or a refrigerator, it comes with a manual on how to operate it. Is there like a manual that people need to read, people need to know on what to do, this is how you should do before you get married? Is there a manual?
I wouldn't say there's a manual. Although before we get married, even though you're not a Christian, you're not a Muslim and all, people used to go to counselors and ask for them to counsel them. So I think even if a counselor counsel you about marriage, there's still more to it. Even if you're a Christian, you're a Muslim and all, you get counseling before getting married. There's still more to that marriage. There's still more, because it's like okay, when we have weddings in Nigeria, or when people do weddings, people used to say it's not about that day alone. It's not about that wedding day alone. So like people say, if you like spend all the money in the whole world, it's all about you and that person after the wedding. So there's no manual to getting married. You are fine. People can give you the advice and all, but it depends on you and your partner, because marriage requires tolerance. It requires patience. It requires understanding, and it's like you want to go and live with the roommates. No, let me just say, okay, it's like you guys are, even if you are doing boyfriend and girlfriend before, you are doing courtship, you guys used to go and spend 1 week, 2 weeks with each other. It's not going to be like that after marriage. It's forever, everlasting. And all the shit you are taking during courtship, you will be, even like they used to say, some people they be like, maybe you've not shown your true attitude. Maybe he was not doing this before. It's when we got married, I'm just realizing all those things in him, because you guys have not really spent time with each other. Maybe all those 1 hour, 2 hours are not the time. This one is everlasting. You guys are seeing each other, waking up beside each other, always with each other. So there's no manual to getting married. Get all the counseling and everything from everyone. There's no manual to get married. You just have to build yourself in that home. That's it.
All right. Thank you so much, ma. Mrs. Ogunsonwo. So someone said, if you celebrate 4 years, you have 4 years in marriage now. That if you celebrate 4 years in marriage in this 21st century, it's like 40 years, because we've seen people that divorced after 6 months. Someone was even telling me yesterday that there's someone that holds the fastest record of a dissolved marriage. Maybe it's like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Someone was telling me and I was shocked. So people get married, they take all these things that you people are saying, they go through counsel, like Mrs. Agre said, they are matured financially, but after 6 months, everything's scattered. What do you think is the cause? And if you know the cause, if you tell me the cause or the audience, how can we ensure a long-lasting relationship or marriage in our society?
Okay, can I answer that? I would say, I think you called another person.
So go, don't worry. I will check for
no,
all
she
your
can
things.
go ahead.
Okay, Mrs. Jumoke.
Jumoke.
How do we ensure a long-lasting marriage? And what is the cause of marriage? Even people that have money, if it's about money, I've seen people that have money and after 6 months, everything is scattered. I've seen people that know Christ, people that know Muhammad, people that know Oshun Oshogbo, people that practice all this religion. It doesn't work after 6 months, 2 years. And someone said the current order, the fastest, Guinness World of Book of Record is 2 weeks. I've never heard that in my life. So what is the reason? And how do we ensure long-lasting marriages in our society?
All right. As Mrs.
So I know you are very gentle, but can you raise your voice, please? I know you are very gentle.
Okay. Sorry. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah. It's better now.
So as Mrs. Agbaje and Mrs. Martin said earlier, marriage is all about tolerance, which some people, when going into marriage now, they don't go because they go because I want to get married, society pressure, I'm old, I'm getting old, different mentalities before getting married. So when some people go into the marriage, they are not going because of, they are not seeing anything else. They are seeing the celebration, they are not thinking of after marriage. You understand? And a lot of things comes after marriage. You have a lot of changes, some things that you just be like, oh, this person I'm dating was not, no, this is not, this is marriage, this is not courtship. This is not you being boyfriend and girlfriend thing. So when they can't tolerate themselves anymore, they end up breaking up. When you cannot endure something, that's why when Mrs. Martin said, she said you have to be physically, you have to be emotionally, you have to be spiritually. As in, before getting married, you have to have all that. You have to be able to do all that. You have to, because marriage is not something you can just dive into. That's just it. It's not something you can just say, yes, one day I'm ready for it then. And marriage involves maturity. You cannot as a lady want to just okay, I'm ready and that's it. And you are going into it. If you are not matured enough, you are not as in, marriage is not just a scenario
It's not
that
child's
just
play.
it's not child's play, it's not child's play at all. So if you are not ready, because right now what I'm seeing is a lot of people are not getting married because they want to they are getting married because of the celebration. On that day, what I'm putting on, what people are saying it. But what happened after the day? Like, what are you going there for after the day? Are you ready to tolerate your husband after that day? Are you ready to face challenges? You see, sometimes after marriage, financial stability can just go up, and you be like, what? I cannot. A lot of things happen, and as a lady, we are not ready to face it. After marriage, you see some people, maybe they go broke, and before you know it, I can't stay with this person. I mean, the person is not ready, because a lot of things will still happen after marriage. So are you ready to face it?
Okay.
Are you ready? That is just.
Thank you so much. Mrs. Agre, what are the questions that should be asked before we get, so if I'm getting married tomorrow, my potential wife, what are the questions that we should ask ourselves? We should be truthful, right? But what are the key questions that we need to ask each other, we need to talk about? And do you support divorce? I've heard people saying, when the going, there is a maxim that says, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. But I've heard people, ladies like you, that said, if it's not bearable again for you, pack your load and go back to your house. It's not by force. Do you support divorce? I know Bible does not support divorce, but do you support it? That's the first question. The second question is, what are the questions that potential couples should ask each other before they even decide that we are meant for each other or we are getting married?
Thank you very much for the question. First of all, I do not support it. That's the first question. As a Christian, unless your life is in danger. Unless your life is in danger, because there's no trophy for anyone that dies in marriage. I've seen cases of domestic violence, people beating themselves, fighting, and all of those things. And you're risking the life of yourself, the kids, and everybody around you. Because sometimes a day can happen and you fight and kill yourselves. So I only encourage or support that on the basis of domestic violence when the two partners are always fighting. Because you never can tell. Something can happen one day and then you lose your lives. Like I always say, there's no trophy. You're not going to win the trophy in heaven or whatever you're going to. That, oh, I died in domestic marriage where I was being beaten or where I was being stabbed or whatever. So on that basis, it's not safe, really. Because you have to be mentally sane to be functional or to be to give your all in the marriage. And then the other question, there are very important, vital questions that one should ask in both ways before getting married. And you're not supposed to be a robot. the two of you have intentionally, be in that marriage. I've seen lots of things happening these days. People just, I think Mrs. Temitope said something. Most people spend time together, right? And the only thing they talk about themselves is, baby, have you poo-poo? Have you eaten? Have you this? Have you that? And you don't ask intentional questions. It's not even how much time you spend with each other. It's how quality the time is. What are you doing in that time you have with each other? Some people be asking questions like, where did you go to today? It's important, but intentional questions should be asked. Example are, what is your dream? What's your goal? Where do you see yourself in so and so year? What's your drive? What motivates you? What's your financial plan? What's your perception, or what's your view about childbearing, about child raising, about my faith? Because if I must marry you as a man, for me as an individual, you must be on the same pace with me, faith-wise. I won't be able to be marrying somebody that is not on the same pace of the same faith with me. I'll be struggling, and I can't cope in such environments, right? So your faith is very important, and your your compatibility, even in mental compatibility, you have to be compatible in this aspect. Mental compatibility must be also there. Questions should be asked regarding mental compatibility. Question about medical compatibility. I'm a nurse. I don't support people marrying when they're not medically compatible, because you're going to be putting not just your life at risk, but the life of the people you're going to bring forth to the world. Imagine somebody, an AS person, marrying an AS wife, or an AS man marrying an AS woman. Is absolutely not safe, and for me, I don't accept it. Whoever is coming to see such counsel, should we get married? Should we not get married? I will already tell you it's not safe, because you're gonna enjoy the moment now, forgetting that being selfish to yourselves and to your children, because you're gonna put your children in so much risk and pain, and they'll begin to hate you for even bringing them to the world. I had a schoolmate who was always suffering because of. And she never graduated because she was always in pain. So medical compatibility is very important, because, like, do you have any for history of whatever disease? Are you diabetic? Do you have any outstanding infection we need to treat that you don't know about? Do you have what's your genotype? What's your blood group? Many people in those days had miscarriages because they don't know that they have having medical incompatibility in their blood groups. So, and then they'll blame it on maybe your village people, or they'll blame it on the wife. Maybe she has done abortions, all those unnecessary stories I hear, not forgetting that maybe the woman is having miscarriages because of the incompatibility of her blood group and that of the baby. It happens.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, this compatibility must be in place, and these questions must be asked. Nobody should be a robot when you're asking questions about marriage, or about if you're getting married to a man. It should be a man you can express yourself, or to a woman you can express yourself with. Not being a robot and then you just accept everything that comes, because you're not going to be a robot or forever in the marriage. You need to be able to speak and express, ask questions, intentional questions. It's not bad to ask questions about how was your day. Have you eaten? Have you had rest? It's important, but when it continues like a routine every day, and it becomes boring because there's no new thing added. What's your view? What's your take about divorce? Because I have to know. What's your take about divorce? What's your take about giving birth through CS, just in case we find ourselves in such situation? What's your cultural belief behind that? What's your faith about tithing? It's very important for my faith. And also, what's your take about praying together as a couple? That is for the ones that are Christians, right? Even the Bible says family that prays together stays together. You cannot just marry a man who you will be praying and he's sleeping, or does not believe in praying together as a family, or having a prayer time together, or supporting each other in terms of spiritual growth and all. It's not supposed. You're going to be struggling in that marriage. What about the financial plan? How if you meet a man, these things don't happen. And what about, okay, I'm missing. I don't want to jump from one to the other. Let me coordinate the thoughts.
Thank you for being explicit as much as you can. You've mentioned some of the questions, but something keeps coming to my head, and my main speaker discuss it on my last
Okay.
episode. So I will throw it to Mrs. Olubunmi Agbaje. Ma, with your experience, ma. With your experience, ma. These questions that Mrs. Agraf talked about, asked about blood group, asked about this, asked about mental compatibility, emotional intelligence. Should we also discuss sexual compatibility or libido compatibility before marriage? Mrs. Olubunmi Agbaje, that's one. Should we discuss it? Oh, we are matured people here. And so I want us to
I know, I'm just like discussing sexual compatibility. So, I don't like.
Okay, as a man, me, whenever I want to get married, I want to do 4 rounds. I want to do 6 rounds of sex. You are saying, my darling husband, I cannot do more than 1 round. Should we have this discussion? Okay, my libido is very high. My libido, I don't even like sex at all as a woman. And me, I like sex. Should we discuss this kind of discussion, like Mrs. Agre said also, adding that to all those questions that she had mentioned? What's your view?
Okay. Me, my own view is, I don't think sex needs to be discussed. Why? Because my own view.
So whatever we meet in marriage, if I get married now,
not like that. Not like whatever we meet in marriage.
Now.
Because
now, this is something that we need to discuss we are still going deep.
Yeah, I'm still talking.
Wait, I want to help you so that you answer me very well. So you answer me, please. And when you are answering, please be concise because of time. I have so many things to get from you ladies that I want to ask. So if I get married to you now, whatever I meet when it comes to sexual compatibility, that is my fate. That is what God wants for me. Even if I'm not happy, even if I want more and you can't give me, that is what God wants for me. Especially if we have prayed and God said, you are my wife. Or my imam in the mosque said, you are my husband or you are my wife. Or I went to Ifa and Ifa said, you are my wife or husband. Any religion. So whatever I meet there, sexual-wise, that is my fate. Is that what you are saying, ma?
Okay. Let me say this. Let me leave Christianity apart. Yeah. I know we have some Christians and all this, but I'm a Christian also, but I'm talking as somebody that wants to be playing here in reality. Now let's look at it. At least, let's say 50% or 60% of us during our courtship would have had sex.
Okay.
In reality.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. Christians are polite.
So talk like someone that have not had sex before marriage.
Okay, someone that has not had sex before
they've
marriage.
Not touched each other.
Had sex before marriage. And you guys, when you can't discuss this because what do you want to discuss there? You guys have not had sex before marriage. So is it how to do the sex that you want to be discussing or how to? I don't understand. Because to me, it's when you get to the marriage, maybe on the day of your whatever, or the day of the honeymoon, then you guys will know. And in reality, I'm a woman, yeah. I don't know about any other person. Some women find their libido might be higher, but in reality, most women, when it comes to come and do, most of us say I'm tired. I don't know about any.
Are you saying you are tired? Are you saying wait? Are you saying you are tired? Are you saying you are? You can say you are tired because you are tired, not because you have low libido. Are you saying you are tired because of your low libido or because you are tired? Which one?
No, I don't know. But in reality, I don't think sex needs to be discussed before marriage. Fine, you can discuss because normally you get married, you should have sex, right? But it should be discussed before marriage. Is it the styles that you guys will be doing that you want to be discussing, or what do you want to be discussing before marriage?
All right. Okay.
So that's, I don't know about any other person, but in reality, to me, when you get there, you know that it's from day one, day two, you guys will know. And somebody that with your partner, you should know what your partner can do. Maybe your partner can go up to 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds. You guys, you should know that.
But they've not had sex. How will she know?
No, that's it.
So can I talk about
before
this?
marriage, I don't think they should discuss that because to me, what do they want to be discussing? Is it the styles they want to be doing, or because you guys have never had sex before? So what do you want to be discussing?
All right, I'll come back to you.
Sex is important.
I'll come back
But
to
what do you want to be discussing before the marriage? Is it the styles or what? Because when you marry, you must have sex.
Yeah.
And I've seen situations, maybe in a movie or whereby maybe people get married and they eventually divorce. Maybe the other person is not sexually active, or maybe the woman is not ready or something like that. Fine, but before marriage, even if you because I don't know. To me, I don't.
Don't worry, I'll come back to you. Mrs. Martina, I know you want to talk. I will come back to you, but I want to ask Mrs. Ogunsongo. So, what's your view? Should we discuss sex before marriage? Answer me as someone that have had sex, people that have had sex before they get married, and people that have never touched themselves before they get married. Do you think they should talk about it? This is my view about sex. This is how many times I think we should have it. This is how I think we should have it. This is where I think we should have it. Do you think we should have such discussion before getting married? Mrs. Ogunsonwo?
Actually, I think for those that have not, oh my God.
I'm hearing you.
Oh, okay, I'm back. For those that have not done this before, maybe the man and the woman are virgins, I think they should please talk about it before marriage. I think I've encountered like 2 issues. Yes, can you hear me?
We are hearing you. Just go on.
I've encountered like 2 issues whereby before marriage they didn't talk about sex. They didn't discuss about sex, and after the wedding night, for like 6 months straight, we were still on the sex issue. That's phobia for penetration, phobia for different things, and I think it was because they've not been talking about it. They overlooked the sex aspect. Like there's nothing to talk about, religion based, like stuff like that. But reality came up, and there could not the different things was introduced, but the phobia was there for the lady, and she could not do anything. So I think the mentality, we have to go through therapy and all that. That's because of lack of not talking about it before marriage. But for those, and I have people that will say, I have to confirm what I want to go for.
I have to test it.
Exactly. Some people will say that because how can I not know what I'm going for if the person is not this, but to be honest with ourselves, it's not when we are going for marriage, we won't first think about sex, like sex. No, it's not something we are supposed to talk about. No, what do you want to be even saying about sex? Like, what the person will be feeling like maybe I'm this, I'm bad, I'm not God fearing and stuff like that. But it's still what is going to happen. You are still going to have it eventually. So why not talk about it? In the process, we talk about the kids, how many you want, this and that. But I view it.
Thank you. So, Mrs. Agre, be very short in answering. What's your view? Should there be a discussion, or there should not be a discussion? Because I have more questions to ask.
Okay. Whether you have the sex before the marriage or have it after the marriage, it must, for me, it must and has to be discussed. Yeah. The importance of sexual compatibility cannot be overemphasized. I always say that because divorces have happened because of that.
So people can divorce. So people can leave each other because of sex.
Yes.
It's just sex now. Yes. Why would people do that?
It's just sex to you, not to everybody. And I respect people's interests, people's desire, people's opinions, and people's view, and people's choices. I've had a friend of I've had someone who divorced his wife because she got pregnant before their agreement time. A man divorced his wife because she got pregnant before their agreement time. And it doesn't make him a bad person. That's what he wanted. That's what they discussed together. But it was the other way around. Now, the sexual part of a marriage, it's one of the integral part of it. Very, very important. And if people discuss these things before getting married, it's a choice that has to be factored in making decisions. Because if you have a high sexual libido, that's why most men cheat. Yes. Because
Wait, pause it there.
I'm not
one of my guests also said this the last time, and I asked him to produce the statistics. He also said most men cheat. Where's your numbers? Why would you say most men cheat? Where's your statistics?
There's no reason. Truth be told, there's no reason. There's no justifying reason or grounds why a partner should cheat on the other partner.
Okay.
But if you look at the happenings in the world today, most people cheat because of that. And some don't have any reason for doing that, really. All I'm saying is that sex should be discussed before marriage. It also guides you on making a decision whether to be able to cope with this person or not. Because some people, it's a deal breaker for them. We all have our deal breakers. I have my deal breakers. You have your deal breakers. Some might say, I can't marry somebody who cannot satisfy me sexually. I will be existing in the marriage. I won't be happy there. And how will you be in a place you're not happy? So many people have left marriages because of sex. And it doesn't make them bad people. That's what they want. It's their choice. And the reason why most people have not left is because maybe their faith or what the world is going to say. If you go into many people's homes, you will say that it's a global thing. It's a global thing. And we should stop shying away from it. Let's call it the way it is. Let's say the way it is. Yes, I don't believe in premarital sex because I'm a Christian. It doesn't mean that I will not talk about it with you. If I'm getting married to you, talking about it is not a sin. It's helping me knowing what I'm going to be expecting. And if I get in there and I'm seeing something different, the ability for me and you to adjust and to make changes to suit us is very important. At least we discussed it. We have a mental picture of what we are going in for. I have a mental picture. I'm a planner. I need to have a mental picture of what I am going into before making a decision. I don't just wake up and make random decisions. That's why a part of that question should be sex. It should be discussed. For me, it's important. I don't have to do it with you to know if you are sexually active or not. But before you become active sexually, you must have the mind, what it is to have sex. Like, have the knowledge in your head. I know practical is different from theory, but have an idea of what it is to satisfy your partner. And that's why reading the book, watching these movies is important. It doesn't mean that you have to go and be doing it. But talking about it as well is important. You don't have to have it for you to know how it's going to feel. But it is important to know it and to discuss it, because many people have left their marriages. Some might not leave, but they will cheat.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
That's
Mrs. Agbaje, I'm back with you now. And my question is straightforward. Just give me your view in like 30 seconds to 1 minute. Look at me, Mrs. Agbaje. This is a special question for you.
Sorry.
I'm just following up on these sex or no sex questions. So, as a couple, a healthy couple that are in marriage, how often should they have sex in marriage? I know you said this, your own view is you are virgin. You guys have not tasted it. Why are you discussing it? Okay, they didn't touch it, they didn't discuss it, but they are in marriage now. How often do you think couples should have sex?
Maybe like 3 to 4 times in a week.
3 to 4 times in a week. Thank you. That's a straightforward answer. Thank you so much. Mrs. Ogunsanwo, how often do you think couples should have sex in marriage? All things being equal.
3, 4 times.
Why is anybody not saying 7 times or 6 times?
Why will somebody have sex? It's not even as...
Okay, it's not healthy.
It's 3 to 4 times. It can be 2 rounds, it can be 3 rounds. But
no. That's not what I'm That's not what I'm saying. I'm not talking
Depends on
about rant.
body and
Let
stress
me
and everything.
wait.
No,
Let me
everything.
rephrase.
But no, but let me say
rephrase
something.
something.
Let me say something. There's something like there was a time we had marriage counseling in my church, and we're like, how often it was this marriage counseling too. It was that we're talking about marriage, and we're like, how often should couples have sex? There are some times you might just do the sex back to back in a week, like 5-6 days in a week, and the next week you might not do anything.
Yeah.
So it's like
It's very. I'm just asking. Generally, you know, the way I want you to answer the question, I want you to have this at the back of your mind. Rand of sex is in a sex. So if you say
round
you
of sex in a sex, I know rounds of sex in a sex.
so if
but
I have
say
sex,
3 to 4 times in a week. If you have had like in a
let me ask this question. Let me ask this question. So if I have sex with my wife today is Tuesday, and we have sex today, we can have 4 rounds today. That's 1 day in a week. If we have tomorrow, we can have 2 rounds. That's 2 days in a week. If we have on Friday, that's 3 days in a week, right?
You can even have throughout the whole week. Let me tell you.
So we are not counting rounds. We are counting the days.
All these things depends on, we like calling mood between the couples. You can have sex on 7 days in a week, but mostly it's always advisable. Like, I don't know, people will say 3 to 4 times a week. But even couples can do 7 times in a week straight, and the next week maybe they will be off. So it just depends on that home and that couple and the home, I mean the marriage and all. But 3 to 4 times to me is okay in a week. But
right.
If you guys are feeling each other, you can do 7 days.
Okay, Mrs. Ogunsanwo, you said 3 to 4 times, right? Also, Mrs. Jumoke, can you hear me? You are mute. You said 3 to 4 times, also, right? I think she's struggling with her network. Let me go to my sister of God, Reverend Mrs. Agri. How many times do you think couple should have it in a week? Not in a week, I don't care. How often should couple have sex? You are 2 years already in this topic. So how often do you think couple should have sex? Oh, she's struggling also. That leaves me with Mrs. Agbaje. Mrs. Ogunsanwo, are you back? Can you hear me?
Highly individualized. As much as it's highly, no, I can hear you clearly.
Okay. I'm hearing you now. Go on.
Hello.
Go on, I'm hearing you.
Can you hear me? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I said this question is highly individualized, meaning that, okay.
Go on.
Is it better now?
Oh, your network is poor. We can't get good audio from you. Mrs. Jumoke, are you back?
Okay, so I'm saying
Yes, I am.
that the question is highly individualized, and I was saying that you can have another person want it. Please do have it because good. Can you hear me?
Go on.
Is it better
Go on,
now?
I'm hearing you now. Go on.
Okay. I'm saying that for as much, the question is highly individualized, and I would say for as much as you both can accommodate it, please do have it, because it's also an avenue for bonding. So there's no laid down timetable, or it's not like that. I think for me, I feel like it's funny to have a timetable. Okay, we'll do it today, next tomorrow, upper week, or like that. No, I don't think. As much as you guys have the chance, you guys have the opportunity, and the both of you want it, or even one person wants it, you should have it, because it's not, there's no laid down manual, or there's no laid down timetable really that you must follow to do this, because it's an obligation that you must fulfill. But do it when you want. 2 of you are happy to do it, and even if you one person that wants to do it, you have to. It mustn't have to be okay. This week, let's be counting. This week I had 5 times, or let's do 5 times. Let's do 10 times this week, or let's do 5 days in a week or something. Just do it when you want to do it, at any time, and as much time you want to have it. Just have it, really.
All right.
There's no control for that.
Thank you.
Except you are engaged or you have things to do, which is important and is understandable.
Okay.
But you create time for each other because it's very, very important.
Okay. Mrs. Ogunsanwo, what do you think? You said 3 to 4 times. My follow-up questions with you. Can you hear me? Mrs. Ogunsanwo, can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
All right. So you said 3 to 4 times. Fine. My follow-up question with you after that is, all of you, my guests today, are Christian, so I can speak with you.
I didn't get the question.
I will ask you again. Don't worry. I can speak to you like Christian. My question is, how often should couple have sex? You said 3 to 4 times. My next question that I want you to answer, in the context of being Christian, is the Bible say in Ephesians, part of Ephesians, I think 6:25, that women don't have power over their body. You should be submissive to your husband with everything you have. In fact, he said, as Christ is the head of the church, your husband is the head of the home. So my follow-up question is, should a wife say no to her husband when it comes to sexual advances? Does it make sense if my wife say no to me? Even when I want to do it, I'm very horny and I feel like touching my wife. Should my wife say no to me? Considering that we are Christian, considering what Bible says, and even in Islam. In fact, I have a friend that told me that as an Islamic wife, if you say no to your husband, there's something, maybe angel or whatever, that will give you maybe 36 strokes of cane, whatever. That is their religion. But in the context of Christianity, I'm very horny. And I see my wife, wow, she's very beautiful today. Like Mrs. Agre said, I really want to touch her today. And she said no. Does that make sense? Should that happen in marriage?
Everything boils down to understanding. I cannot come back and be very stressed and after a very hectic day and coming back home, just like with my schedule now, getting in very late, and then you say that's where understanding comes in. Fine, there are some times that I will have to just please you, but cannot be always.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I'm hearing you.
So that's yes, that you have to have understanding, like understanding in this aspect that okay, babe, I said this can happen next time, and you have to have a valid reason. Like you can see the reason is valid. It's not as if I'm depriving you of sex, but there's a valid reason concerning this why it cannot take place. So, but when I know I'm fit, so why not? So far,
Okay.
I'm okay.
All right, we have limited time left. I need to release you guys. I have 1 or 2 or 3 questions more, and I will let you go. Mrs. Agbaje, so questions that I'm asking are questions that affect people directly. I've been opportune to speak with married people, couples that are struggling financially, sexually, emotionally. And these are questions that I've asked them, things they've said to me. I've spoken with couples that are struggling sexually, and the issue they are having is the wife said her husband cannot just have sex with her anyhow. She's not a prostitute. In fact, there's a specific sex type that you can have. Come on, my husband, we are child of God. So, is there a sexual style for Christian? Is there a way I should sleep with my wife as a Christian? Is there a way I should not?
I will go back to Mrs. Martina. Yeah, she said it's individualized. Yes, that's just the truth. Because to me, you cannot just be doing missionary stuff.
Go on.
I know Christians might say, okay, because we are fine, I shouldn't lie. Me too, in my home, there's
oh God, why is she laughing?
There are some times
that's the issue exactly.
I shouldn't say that.
The woman said the only, as if it is written in the Bible. As a Christian, my darling, we should only do this.
As a Christian, we all believe it's just missionary style. We should just be some Christians, but sex should be enjoyed with your partner, with your husband, and we shouldn't just emulate the fact that it's just missionary style we want to be doing. No, but as a Christian, we can do any style. Even some Christians say they will go as far as buying all this sex and whatever. For me, I'm not into all those things. And me, I don't know. That person, I'm looking at her from that perspective. Some people used to look at we all watch movies and we see how maybe a prostitute they are having sex with a prostitute and all. So she might be having that in her head and all. Like me too. There are some styles I would say I can't do. I'll just say me or Shashewo.
Oh, you say that to your husband also. You say that to your husband also, right?
Don't ask me that.
Okay. That's good. Let me go to
and so if we all reason differently. She might just be like, this is me, I cannot do this. It may be as couples. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah.
But as couples, I believe sex is what we should
All right.
Okay. As couples, I believe sex is what we should always enjoy. We should like try different styles and all, but there are some styles that I will not do. Me, I'm talking for my own. I don't know about. I'll just feel that person's mentality. I'll have it too.
All right, Mrs. Martina Agbre, what's your view about sex style? That's number one. Number two is, I've been in the seminar. I asked my mate guest this also. I've been in a marriage under the ministration of one big man of God. In fact, he is the head of a Pentecostal church all over the world. I will not mention his name, but he was preaching to people that are getting married, the couples that day, and he said, listen to me very well, couples, anything you do on your matrimonial bed is holy, so far you are married. Is that yes to you or no? So as a married man, my wife, we are married, we are not committing sin. Whatsoever we do on our matrimonial bed is holy. Is that your view? Did you share that perspective? And what's your your view about sex ties as well?
I'm so sorry. Okay, thank you very much for the question. I'll answer by answering the second question. Whatever I do sexually on my matrimonial bed is not a sin.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever is very big. It encompasses all those things that I can't mention. All those things that I can't mention.
I'll be very blunt. I'm not scared of mentioning them. I'm a nurse, so I talk about it every day.
Okay.
So whatever sex style I do on my matrimonial bed is not a sin. This is because, and as long as I'm doing it with my partner, not with another person, it's not a sin. And I don't think that the first question you asked about styles, this is when accommodation and adjustments comes into play. We shouldn't be selfish, really. We shouldn't be selfish with most times we try to be going after our selfish interests, and let's try to accommodate each other's needs and I know it's easier said than done, but when you say it and mean it and intentionally want to do it, it's easier than say no, just like that. Like it's not nice. You should come to a softer approach and then try to find a point of compromise. It's all about compromise. Try to come to a point of understanding with each other and then discuss it. So if you say, I can't do this style, watch it. If it's a woman you're saying that to, or it's a man you're saying that to, you will be shocked. What your eye will see what your mouth cannot talk. Sorry, you'll be shocked at your partner watching pornography, and you'll be like,
I have a question on pornography as well. Is it good for couples to watch pornography?
Together, yes.
Together,
yes.
It is
together.
Yes for you also. Couples should watch it together.
Together, yes. If you are trying to learn a particular sex style and you feel like, looking at it together will give you an idea of what you should do with each other. As long as it's between the two of you, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But the only time it will be wrong is when you're watching it to be masturbating or to be using do whatever they call it, or you're doing with someone else. Well, I think that the issue that has to do with sex generally is individualized, but couples that know themselves together should be open to each other sexually. Sexual needs are very important. Sexual needs can make somebody lose his mind. It's very, very important. Sexual needs can. So you need to, if you try to shy away from it, that means you're trying to expose your partner to doing it without you. So what's the point?
Okay, thank you.
Why not talk about it and practice it together? And if you know it's too difficult for you, or if you know it's too extreme, talk to your partner about it. Your partner is not. If you marry a reasonable partner, whether a male or a female, he will try to understand. Maybe try to make adjustment a little bit just to accommodate the two of you. Do you get? So it's not like it must be autocratic. I must get it. No, but discuss it. That's why discussion or communication is very key. So you can be able to understand yourselves, and it will be easier for you to flow in that amplitude. Not just saying I don't want it. That's been acting like ancients of this. For me, that's my view, really. I respect everybody's view here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mrs. Ogunsanwo, do you support that couple should watch pornography as well together? Yes or no? Just give me yes or no. We should watch, let me say, the way they call it, blue films. Couple should watch it together. Yes or no?
Yes, I do that. Yes.
Yes, they should watch it. Our mommy, Mrs. Agbade Olubunmi, yes or no? Should couple watch pornography together?
Yes.
Yes, too. All right. My last questions before I let you go is on finances. Our finances at home. Does it make sense, Mrs. Ogunsanwo, for couples to share maybe domestic bills or whatever? I know the way African setting is. There's this ego on us, the father, the man of the house. We always want to take care of our homes. We want our wives. Most of us will even say you should not work. Just be the housewife. Take care of my kids. Take care of me. But I've noticed that when people move to this part of the world, the Western world, UK, US, Canada, it becomes an issue because the man cannot carry the burden alone. And this woman is not used to sharing bills, and you are asking her to share it. So a lot of marriages have been scattered because of this issue. So do you think this is a culture that should be imbibed from the beginning, that we should share the responsibilities, especially if we are both working? Or even if I'm working or not as a woman, my husband should still take care of us and take care of the home? What's your view?
Okay, my own view, I can assist. That's what we are for. We are to assist each other. So I will assist when I think there's a need for me to assist. But I will not forget the fact that the father is head of the home, and there are some responsibilities that have to be done. So, but when it comes to me assisting, when I think that okay, this thing has to be done, and maybe there's need for support, then why not? I will support, but I will still let him to be the main part of what he has to do. Get it? Like based on financing, right from time, even before now, we'll have to talk about how do you want to work on our finances. You know, sometimes you have joint accounts whereby both of us know what is coming in and what is going out. I have my separate account as well, but if we are to do things, we do it together. So with that, we are helping each other. So I think it's always okay for you to assist, not as if you should be the one announcing everything, no, but can assist when there is need for you to do that. So that's my own.
Thank you. Mrs. Agbaje, what's your view? Talk like an African woman, then talk like someone that is living in the Western world. what's your view about sharing of finances? I know you are in the UK. When couples, both of them are working, what's your view as an African woman and someone that lives in other parts of Africa?
We need to support each other. That's my own view, and it has always been my view. Financially, we need to support each other.
So is it like some women won't say it lightly, like you are saying it? Some women would want to come in
reality,
when they want.
I just see these things online, and people are like, okay, I do follow all these blogs, marriage blogs and all, and people will be like, me, I can't do anything, it's the one that has to do everything. In reality, a whole lot of people are going to some things in their home and coming online to lie. So, but me, I'm a woman of support your husband, support your partner. Fine. Women, we feel like, okay, there was a trend recently that it was like 50-50, 70-30, and people were like, I can't do 50-50, man, she's 50-50. My own is, if I see that, okay, as the husband, my husband is doing something, and I can see he's struggling, or he's struggling to meet up with deadlines and all, why shouldn't I support? Why will I have money somewhere and my husband is struggling? No, it's not right. Because I see some women in the comment section, they will be like, I'm not doing anything. Meanwhile, some women are the one carrying everything, but they won't come out to say that. And so, to me, I'm always in support of, you have to support your partner. Even if it has to be 70-30, you have to do something. Being it in Nigeria, being it in Africa, being it in UK, you just have to do something and support your partner. Your partner will do more of it because it's the head of the house, like she said. But as a woman, you need to support. Even if it is full stop, even if it is little things you have to do, a woman have to support.
Thank you. Your view in 1 minute, Mrs. Agre, what's your view about finance management?
Okay. I'm somebody who believes in sharing responsibilities in every aspect, be it financial responsibilities, family raising responsibility, and domestic responsibilities. That's because you make each other's life easier. You did not marry somebody to become a burden to the person, or you didn't marry somebody to become, like sort of a punishment to that person, both the male and the female. It shouldn't be so.
Okay.
Because let's say even both in Nigeria and in the diaspora, I do not support people saying, or even the Nigerian men who say, stay at home and take care of the kid, let me work. I don't think it's sensible. I'm not saying they're senseless. That's my view. I don't think it's a sensible thing to do, because what if you die?
Yeah.
What if the man dies? I mean, I'm always thinking about what if, because life happens. Let's be real. Life happens. What if, even if you don't die, what if you have issues at your workplace and you have to be sacked, or you're having a business and the business crashes? Where will you fall back to? Is it to the wife that you said to not work and stay at home to look after your children? Because you don't want to share the responsibility of looking after kids. When you could have shared another responsibility and make her go to work and be valuable with her life. The truth is, this conversation about this marriage thing this timing is a bit short, because many people need to understand that getting married, we were all human beings first of all. You were a human being created by God to fulfill your purpose. The man was a human being to fulfill his purpose. You come together and marry that purpose and find a common ground to become the best part of you, not the other person going under the carpet because you want to become a mother and not have any meaning for your life. What happened to having a business? What happened to working? What happened to learning a skill? I like book. I cannot even marry a man that will tell me that don't marry or don't work, stay at home and look after kids. I'm not even going to think it 1 minute. And it doesn't make me a good person. That's my deal breaker. I won't even think it, because you don't want me to grow. You don't want my personal growth and development. So I don't subscribe to that. So that's why I said, even if, like Mrs. Agbaje said, even if it's 70-30, have something. Because the fact is, as a man, if your wife is supporting you, you will grow faster.
Yeah.
Just like let's say you're earning 500k in a month in Nigeria and even in the diaspora, and in that 500k, your wife is bringing in her own money. You guys are bringing together and sharing responsibilities. There's so much you can achieve as a team financially than as an individual. You will not grow like that. You will be stunted in your growth, and any marriage should make you grow, not moving backwards, right? So financial burden sharing and domestic sharing. Sorry about the noise. It's just people doing it outside.
Yeah.
Financial burden sharing and domestic burden sharing is important. That way, you both will still stay young to enjoy your life.
Okay.
I see women going through the whole suffering. I call it suffering because why are you subjecting yourself to such a life? Don't be so. I'm so sorry. The noise is very much. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Just to add to the point, like,
okay,
if you look at, I don't know how many years she has used in UK, and I say that I've used 3 years in UK, and so far, couples that I've seen that purchased houses already are couples that they did it together, because in this UK, except maybe if the husband is not earning 150,000 pounds, so 200,000 pounds, but couples that one is earning 30, one is earning probably 20. Let me just say 30, 20, or 30, 30, or 40, 40. They have to do it together, because looking at the deposit alone and all, I have she's more of like, she's an influencer on Instagram. Me and her are close. They got in UK. I think this is their 4th year in UK or their 5th year in UK now. Her husband is a doctor, and she was a customer service before, and now she's in project. She is project manager. She's working with HRMC, and they have got their second house now within 4 years in the UK. I think it's their 5th year or 4 years. So it's actually because they are doing it together. Yeah. Because if they are not doing it together, they can't achieve. They always advise, as a couple, if you want to achieve anything in this UK, you need to do it together, because one person can never do it alone. The person will just be worn out. Like, it will shock.
Thank you.
So it's only an insensible person that would think that one person can do the load. It's not possible. It's not. Sorry.
Some people in UK, even in Nigeria, even if your husband is Odogu or what?
What if he dies?
So what? Me, Mr. Kenny knows me. I always say that.
I don't know you.
What I mean that, I think you would have heard me saying that I don't like a woman saying I don't work. Even if it's even if it's a business, you just have to do something in that house.
And something. Be meaningful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
In UK, food stuff is expensive. I think you'll be using 250, 300 pounds to buy food stuff in the house, and that's money. Even if it's water bill, like there was an argument on it. I think it was the UK blog, because I followed this blog, and people were like, "Okay, ladies, what do you do?" Some people were saying, "I pay water bill." Some people were saying, "I pay water and cancel tax." So, I think there's one recently. They said, "Choose one. Are you going to pay for child care? Are you going to pay for food stuff?" And I can say, ladies, in the comment section, I prefer child care, I prefer food stuff, and that's just it. You just have to do something.
All right. Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you, every one of you. I've taken so much of your time. Like Mrs. Agre said, it's not something that we can conclude in one episode. So lastly, this question is just yes or no. Don't talk. Don't explain anything. Just give me yes or no answer, yes or no response. Let me start with you that I'm seeing on the screen. That you said I know you. I don't know you from anywhere. You are just a guest on my show. Mrs. Agbaje, what's your view about same-sex marriage for men and for women?
What's your about what, please?
What's your view? Do you support same-sex marriage for men or for women?
I don't understand that question. So same-sex marriage, like how?
Same-sex marriage, man to man, woman to woman. Do you support it?
I can't say anything again.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't support. That's like lesbian, gay.
Yeah, lesbian for women, gay for men. Do you support it?
No, I don't support it. I can never support it. Never ever.
You don't support it. Mrs. Ogunsanwo, Do you support same-sex marriage for men or for women?
No, I don't.
You don't.
Oh,
What did I want to
Don't
say?
explain. Don't explain, Mrs. Agbaje. Mrs. Agri, same-sex marriage for men or women, do you support it? Can she hear me?
You don't think so?
Gosh, network.
I totally disagree.
You totally disagree.
I totally disagree. I can hear you.
So if you see someone that chose that
Yes.
direction,
Because it's
if
going
it's
to
your
break
friend,
the law of
if it's your
procreation.
friend, you break the friendship. Mrs. Agbaje, if I'm your friend and I decide to choose that direction, you will stop being friends with
when
me.
I was in school,
I don't even think I can have a friend that do that.
people that were close to me.
To me, what I don't know, people are doing it though. We are in
Actually,
in a country where they are doing
I
it.
respect
But to me,
people's
what am I
lifestyle. I don't
enjoying
judge
it now with
people.
another person?
What are you enjoying? That's
Yes,
the
now what do I want? Like, what do I want to enjoy? We are both having the same something. So there's another.
but they are
Now,
enjoying it.
that's
People that are doing it are enjoying it.
They are the one enjoying it too. Me,
For you.
I don't support because.
Mrs. Ogunsanwo, if I'm your friend as well, you will stop being friend with me because I choose that direction. As a lady, I tell you, I only have feelings for
No,
a
as
lady,
a
not
Christian,
a man.
Bible says we should not judge, so I will not judge.
Mrs. Ogunsanwo, what would be your advice to me?
I'll quote the Bible for you. I will say my own and I will leave the rest.
You will leave me for my decisions.
I will try to hear you to talk with maybe in a way or two, but if that's your choice, then.
So is it the enjoyment for you also? That's why you don't support it. Like Mrs. Agbaje?
What's the enjoyment there? No, I don't just support it. No, I don't.
All right,
I don't support
Mrs. Agre, I don't know what's happening. You are struggling. Are you back? Can you hear me?
I'm back. I can hear. I've been hearing you all the way.
So I
but
said
think
if
you can hear me.
I'm your friend and I choose that direction, you will unfriend me. You will stop being friend to me as a female. I'm your friend and I choose to be a lesbian.
I'm not going to. No, I'm not going to unfriend you. I mean, in fact, I had a friend when I was 7 who was one, but the fact is, I'm not going to judge you. I don't like the least thing I'm going to do is judge people. I don't like to judge people. I respect people's lifestyles. I can only talk to you about it and see, to see if you can maybe see things from my perspective and to think if you can change. But I'm not going to force you. I won't judge you, but then I will not let your lifestyle influence mine. I'll just be very diplomatic in my dealings with you. Doesn't mean I'm judging you. I'm just trying to protect myself and my mental health, first of all.
All right.
Yes, so that's me. I will just try to talk to you and try to make you see reasons why you should stop, or you should adjust, or you should see the opposite sex. But I'm not gonna judge you, really.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Martina Agre. Thank you, Mrs. Jumoke Ogunsanwo Ajoke. Thank you, Mrs. Olubunmi Agbaje. Thank you so much for creating time. I know you are busy. Thank you for creating time. You left your business. Some of you should be sleeping by now. Thank you for creating time to come on my show. I'm very sure if I need you not together like this individually, on another episode, you will always find time for me. Thank you so much. It's a wrap on my show and your view today. And I believe my audience have enjoyed you. There'll be a lot of comments when the video is uploaded. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please, it's Opera Kenny TV on YouTube. Subscribe, like, and share with your friends. Let them share from the views that you've given to them today. Let them learn one or two lessons from what you've discussed. Thank you so much. God bless you. Regards to your lovely husbands and kids. And I hope to see you very soon again. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, my people. That's it today on my show.
Thank you. Bye.
And your view. And I will see you some other time again on the next episode where I'll be bringing another guest to discuss another topic that will be beneficial to you. I'm sure you've enjoyed my guest today. I was so lucky. One is 2 years in marriage. Another one is 4. The last one is 6 years in marriage. I believe you've learned one or two things about marriage. It's not a discussion that we can end on one episode like Mrs. Martina Agre said. Thank you. If you've not subscribed, it's Opera Kenny TV on YouTube. Please subscribe, like, and share. The plan is to move the subscriber to 500 very soon so that we can bring in guests as much as we can. Believe me, we discuss series of topics on this show. It's my show and your view. I'm your anchor. I'm the host. People call me Opera Kenny. Until next time when I will see you on another episode of my show and your view, I say bye-bye. Thank you and see you then. Bye.